Hey Damon, so here's where we are. I have been through the site, found all the places where the number was input incorrectly and fixed that. Some have been back here in the global area where we have a phone number setting. I fixed it over here. That populates the footer and some other places. It also now populates up here. And then this here is just not populated by that field, but just a direct code input, which I think you had already edited. So now when I do a refresh, you have to look pretty quickly, but you'll notice this number up here will flash to the correct one. This number down here will flash to the correct one, and then it will go to the incorrect one. So we'll look down here, 1005, and then it flashes over. Let me just do it one more time so you can see it. 105 flashes over. That is what CallRail does, is it senses phone numbers on the site and then populates them with something out of its database to have a number that it knows and then can convert the calls because it knows the number. I have scoured the site. I have found the CallRail code. I have removed it. I've done a full code search on the site and it's all gone. I can't find it anywhere. I've searched, just to give you an idea, I've looked through all the HTML here on the back end. It's not there, and yet something is still causing it, and that's exactly what CallRail does. So, sort of two things. Do you have a CallRail account that you can send me access to? That may or may not be needed, but, and I've mentioned this before in previous emails, so I'm going to sound a little bit like a broken record, but your hosting is heavily cached. So you're hosted at Flywheel up here. They're the ones that have that big invoice for you coming. And it has a caching system up here. It has a caching system down here. It has a CDN that I don't know how to clear the cache of. And a cache, just on the wild chance you don't know that term, it stores a copy of your site. So even though we may go in there and make changes to things like here, and then hit save and refresh and do all that, it still is displaying the site that's coming from this cached source. And that cached source could be the host, it could be the CDN, it could be one of the plugins in here, WP Rocket or Auto Optimize. So your site has 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different cache locations. I've done everything I can to clear all of them multiple times, and yet when we still do the refresh, it still comes back and resets the phone number. So it's either an issue where we have to go disable the CallRail account, or it's just something in the caching that I can't get to that will either, one, go away on its own after enough time, which is also a possibility, or we move hosting companies, which I believe is really a good idea given all the complexities of current hostings, and at least from my end, all the hassles of it to be outside the norm. So that's my input, slight bit of a rant there too, sorry. But I'm going to send it to you saying I've done all I can, and until we can be sure we've gotten all the cache locations, it's still popping up with the old number.